One. Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this afternoon, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing?
What's up, man? I'm trying to wake up here.
Yeah, I can see that. You look kind of
Half
sleepy.
asleep. I'm half asleep. I'm half asleep. So we'll see.
That's what happens when
Need
you take a
something to
nap in the
pep
middle
me
of the
up.
afternoon. That's what happens when you take a nap in the middle of the afternoon. I can't do it. Like I can take a nap in the afternoon, but I have to have like nothing going on the rest of the day. You know what I mean? If I have other stuff going on, like if I gotta take my son somewhere or whatever, I can't nap because I get like that. I get groggy for the day.
I think naps in the afternoon are needed and they're great. I like them. The only problem is if you have to wake up early the next morning to go to work, then you're going to sleep real late. But
Does it,
eh,
does it does taking a nap mess up with your sleep schedule? Like for me, I can take a 5 minute nap or I can take a 3 hour nap in the middle of the day, and I'm still going to bed at 11 o'clock and I'm still getting up at 5 o'clock, and it doesn't mess with my sleep at all. Does it mess with you?
I just can't go to sleep at night.
No.
I can't go to sleep at night. I'll be looking at the ceiling for like 2 hours at least before I actually fall asleep.
Well, I tell you what, bro, you don't need to do that because the Olympics are on. So you could watch, and they've got it on like four different channels. So you can watch the Olympics all night long.
Now, are they showing it or is it on the stupid Peacock app or whatever the hell you want to
No,
call it?
it's on all the NBC channels. So it's on like
Oh,
CNBC, MSNBC, USA, and NBC.
oh, okay.
I'm sure you can get even more
Yeah,
stuff on Peacock.
probably. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's all I've been hearing about. Yeah, I haven't watched a minute of the Olympics
How could you call yourself a sports fan and not watch the Olympics?
because
It's
I'm a
like
sports I'm a sports fan during the day, not at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
bro, the Olympics are like, I mean, I feel like a crack whore with $50 in my pocket walking down Skid Row during the Olympics. I feel like a kid with $5 standing at the window of an ice cream truck at the Olympics. I mean, this is great. It's absolutely awesome. I feel like a fat man at a buffet. It's awesome.
Yeah, if they were a little earlier, maybe. I mean, middle of the night, nah.
I was up
I've
till
never.
I was up until like 2 in the morning last night because I couldn't sleep and I was watching the Olympics.
Yeah, the Olympics is just something that I can't really. I just can't get into it. It's like I can't get into it. I don't. Even if they were here in the U.S., I just can't. I can't. I don't know something about it. I struggle sitting through hours of the Olympics. I can sit through like a 20 inning baseball game, Major League Baseball
Yeah.
game, but I can't sit through, whatever these events they have on in the Olympics. I just can't do it.
You know what I find funny about the Olympics is, and it seems like it's getting worse, right? They just keep making up sports to add to the Olympics, right? So they've got basketball, and now they've added 3-on-3 basketball. So I'm guessing at the next Olympics, we'll have like a free throw shooting contest. And then at the next Olympics after that, we'll have horse or pig, right? Some people play pig, some people play horse.
Yeah.
Like it's, and it all, to me, it all started with swimming, right? Because they've got all these different strokes, right? The freestyle is just swim as fast as you can. But then they've got the breaststroke and the butterfly and the backstroke. It's like swim really fast, but not as fast as you can. You got to swim like
Right.
this. Track and field's going to start doing that. They're going to have races backwards. They're going to have skipping. Like it's just like how many more varieties can we do? Like they added, they brought back baseball and softball. Why are they not having a home run derby? I mean,
Yeah, seriously.
if you
Or a
can do
slam dunk contest.
a slam dunk, right? The basketball could add in the slam dunk contest. In hockey, right? You take that all-star weekend, do the skills competition.
or they can do like a football. Remember for like what was it for the Pro Bowl? They have these
Yeah, the
where they
whole
got to throw the football against the bullseye or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Right. If they put football, that's how actually that's a good way to introduce football into the Olympics, right? Because they don't introduce football into the Olympics because oh the head injuries, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
But if you just take like a skills competition with
Yeah.
football,
A field goal kicking contest.
exactly, have all the field goal kickers out there, but not the professionals, just the amateurs, until other countries start beating us, and then we send our NFL guys to bulk them up. All of a sudden, they're hitting 60-yard bombs and stuff. I love the Olympics personally. I absolutely love it because again, it's just one sport after another. Volleyball did the same
Yeah.
thing, right? Volleyball had traditional volleyball, 6-on-6. And then they said, oh, but wait, we have beach volleyball. Two
Now,
people
now,
in
now, now,
sand.
women, now, women's beach volleyball, that may be something I can get into, right? I mean,
I mean,
more than just for the volleyball.
yeah, I mean, look, I don't understand why those chicks don't just play naked. I
Might
mean,
as well, right?
those bottoms are not, I mean, I've got socks that are bigger than those bottoms. I mean, it's ridiculous. Those things are tiny, tiny.
Yeah, because if they had granny panties, nobody would watch it. I wouldn't.
Well, but we've already established you wouldn't watch the Olympics.
True.
Same like weightlifting, right? They've got the snatch and clean, the clean and jerk, and they've got all these different ways of lifting weights. It's like, look, what's the most weight you can get off the ground? You know what I mean? I'm surprised
uh,
they haven't started putting in like world strongman competitions in there, right? They've got the decathlon and track and field. It's 10 events. Why don't they do the same thing for like weightlifting and do a strongman competition? See guys
what
pulling trucks.
what sport have you what stood out for the from the Olympics to you so far?
Uh, so far, unfortunately, it's the big story is Simone Biles, right?
Yeah.
She pulled out of the team competition. She's now pulled out of the all-around individual competition.
Right.
And I mean that's the biggest story for us here in America, right? The NBA, the basketball team's not doing as well, so it's another story, but it's not complete yet. Whereas the Simone Biles story, I think, is pretty much done, and it happened in such a weird way, right? Um, so for people that don't know, they did the team competition. The team consists of four gymnasts from each country, and they go through all of the different apparatus, right? The vault, the balance beam, the floor exercise, and the uneven bars. There may be more, I don't know. And the U.S.'s first rotation was on the vault. She did a terrible vault, and we were behind like 1.2 points behind the Russians, or not the Russians, the ROC, the Russian
Uh-huh.
Olympic Committee or whatever it's called. And she said, hey, I don't have it. I'm out. Let someone else do the other events. And, she cited some mental health and whatnot. And I respect that that what they do is difficult. I respect that mentally it is draining, right? It's tough to compete at an extremely high level. But I think we're conflating some issues here. Like we're calling it mental health. And to me, if you're having a bad day and you quit, that's not mental health. That's just you were having a bad day and you quit. Let's call it what it is. And people are saying, "Oh, she was brave for, doing something for herself or whatever." I mean, was she really brave? Because what I got is she put her team in a 1.2 hole, which 1.2 points in gymnastics is a ton, right? Because everything's like
Mm-hmm.
down to the tenth of a point, hundredth of a point.
Right.
So to me, it's not brave to put your team in a hole and go, I quit. What did we do to, like, think about this? What did we do to Scottie Pippen back in the 80s or whatever when he sat out because he had a migraine? We crucified that guy.
Yeah.
Like, that guy is routinely not talked about as one of the greatest players ever, partially because we think he's soft, because he sat out a game with a migraine, because he didn't go in for the last play of a game because it wasn't designed for him. Like he quit on his team. And to me, while I respect her decision, she did what was best for her, and I respect that. I don't have a problem with it. I do have a problem with calling her brave, and she's getting a lot of praise. I don't think she should get a lot of praise. I don't think she should get a lot of criticism. Look, she made a decision to quit. Okay. I just don't see the bravery, right? Like, that's the part that strikes me as weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but it's hard for me to. I mean, if she says it's mental health, I mean, who knows what she's going through? Like, I don't know what she's going through the whole time. Maybe she has something going on back home. I don't know. So I can't really. I mean, if that's what she says is the reason, then that's the reason. Scottie Pippen just quit on his team. He didn't have mental health. He quit on his team because he wasn't getting the last shot. The last play wasn't designed for him. He quit. He didn't have any issues. We know that for sure.
Right. Well, but hold on, Alex. Don't you think that we throw around mental health now? Like, mental health wasn't a term or an issue that was used with frequency in sports in 1986 or whatever it was, 87 or whatever it was that Scottie Pippen pulled himself out of a game.
No, that was in 95. That was in 95.
Well, even in 95, mental health wasn't a term, right? We didn't use that. Like, no one talked about mental health with athletes in 1995. That's a recent last 5 years type of thing. And while I agree with you, she could have something else going on, but all I can go by is what she said in the press conference. And all she said in the press conference is, it's stressful, it's different. The wait between warm-ups and the actual competition was a little bit longer than usual. It was 5.5 hours instead of the normal 3 or 4 hours. They did their walkthrough, I guess, earlier. There's no fans. And it's like, to me, those are like, look, if you have an issue, right? You got a sick family member or something, I get it. But from what she told us, it was just the stress of competing. It's like, that's what you do, right? Like, I don't know if you remember this, but Pete Sampras was playing in a tournament. And I don't think it was it may have been a major tournament. I don't know if it was or not. I don't know if it was one of the big Grand Slam tournaments or if it was just a regular tennis tournament. And his coach, or one of his old coaches, or someone that had been close to him, had passed away, like, I want to say it was like a week or 2 weeks earlier. And he was playing in a tennis match. He was in the middle of the tennis match, right? And something happened that really, really reminded him of his coach. And for 30 seconds, he was inconsolable. I mean, he put his hands on his knees and bent over and was crying. I mean, he was so emotional. And you know what he did? He cried. Back then, they didn't have like a serve clock or a shot clock in tennis. So he took like a full minute, and the umpire's like, it's his serve. All I can do is tell him to hurry up. But I mean, ultimately, there was no punishment, right? And so everyone sat there and watched him. He cried. And at some point, he grabbed his sleeve and wiped away his tears and kept serving and played tennis and won the match. Like, that was a mental health issue at that moment, right? We didn't call it mental health back then, but it was a mental health issue. He He was overcome with emotion thinking about his deceased coach. And, he just played through it.
Yeah.
So, like,
Well, some people handle it a little differently. I mean, some people handle it a little differently, and
absolutely.
I mean,
Again,
if
my problem with it is the praise for her bravery. Like, think about it, Alex. What would we have done to Tom Brady if Tom Brady in the first quarter of the Super Bowl, when they're down 3-0, goes, I don't have it today, guys. Put the backup in. I'm done.
yeah, I mean, I don't think that'll ever happen. Tom Brady go out there in a wheelchair
But can
and
you
play football and
imagine?
play quarterback.
Can you imagine what
I
the
can't.
I mean, to be fair, right? If Tom Brady did that 20 years later, we wouldn't even remember who won the Super Bowl. All we would remember about that Super Bowl is that Tom Brady quit. Or LeBron James, right? LeBron James, like, game 7 of the NBA Finals
Right.
against the Warriors. He gets 2 quick fouls. Like, I can't. I can't. I don't have it
Yeah.
today. Hey, get J.R. Smith to go out there. Let's see if J.R.
He's gonna
Smith can
fuck up the
handle
game
it.
anyway.
Yeah, let's see if J.R. Smith can handle this, because I can't. We would never say about any athlete in the 4 major sports, regardless of the situation, we would never call them brave. Never. I can't think of one player in hockey, basketball, football, baseball that bows out in the postseason, let's just say, because of mental health issues, because of the stress. We would never call them brave. We would crucify them to the nth degree.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right in that point. But I mean, I don't know. Shit. I don't know. Look, if someone says mental health, I'm not. Hey, whatever they're going through, man. Whether if they really are or aren't, I don't know. So I'm not gonna sit here and
Yeah.
say she's fucking bullshit. Like,
Oh, no, no,
because
no.
again, people are built but again, people are built differently, and she, you mentioned athletes, and they're males, and they're just it's different. I think, like, I think they have a different mentality, than maybe some females might. So I think that's why she might get a pass here, right? Or be, called brave in doing so. So I mean, but
Let me ask you.
at least she bowed out from the individual. Like, she's not participating at all no more, right?
Well, there's still the apparatus one, which I think if she doesn't, I think she could. I don't know how that works, because there's
Yeah.
3 competitions, right? There's the team competition, there's the individual competition, and then they do competitions for each apparatus. So that there's a 3rd competition, right, to see who the
Okay.
champion vaulter is. I don't think she's out of that, but I don't know how you qualify for that if you did not participate in the team and all around individual. So
Right.
maybe by bowing out of those 2, she can't be in an apparatus one because she has no qualifying score, let's say.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I wonder, like, give me your opinion. Do you think she's getting a pass because she's female, because she's a legend, or because she's a gymnast? Like, they look so small. They look so uh not immature. They look so young. Like, I don't know how old Simone Biles is, but she looks 15 to me. And they all look 15. Like, none of them look like they're 25. You know what I mean? Or 30. So which one of those 3 you think is the main reason why we're not tearing her apart?
Well, I had to look up her age, and she's 24. She's actually born 2 days after me. But her birthday. But
Now,
I mean, I think
let me tell you something, Alex. She ain't born two
uh,
days. She ain't born 2 days after you.
well, yeah, well, you know what I meant.
She's born decades after you.
Trying to make myself younger here.
Yeah, I see you working. I see you working.
But yeah, I think her being a female has definitely something to do with it. And I mean, her age also, right? I mean, I don't know, man. It's a very touchy subject, and the you know, I think being a female definitely has a lot to do with it,
You think so?
right? Because I mean, imagine if she were to get ripped like a LeBron James or a Tom Brady.
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
social media would be going crazy.
Wait. Here's the fourth reason why maybe she's not getting ripped. Money, right? She's not a multi-millionaire like LeBron James. I mean,
Right.
she's probably doing okay because she is such a legend, but she's not, she's not making the Forbes list like LeBron. So that could be another reason, right?
Right. Yeah.
I
No, yeah,
I
absolutely could play a part.
I personally think she's getting a pass because she's a legend, right? Like I think she's getting a pass because she's done it before. She is, regardless of what happens here in Tokyo, she is the greatest female gymnast our country has ever seen. In fact, she is the greatest gymnast our country has ever seen. I can't think of a male gymnast that has more accomplishments than she does in terms of world championships and Olympic medals. I mean, she's the best. She may be the best of all time. Um,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to keep it here in America because that's the media that I consume. And I think that's why she's getting a pass. I think if she was, you know, really good, but had never won a gold before, had never won world championships, I think we might not give her a pass. I just don't like, I'm okay with the fact that she bowed out. I wish she'd have bowed out before the first event, right? Because then someone else could, maybe then we'd only be behind by zero point 0.4 instead of 1.2 or whatever. Because she really, her vault
Right.
was like, she was supposed to do a Yurchenko 3.5, and then at the last second she decided to go back to a 2.5, but then when she did it, she actually only did a 1.5. So it's like, she did a flip that basically you and I could do. Well, maybe not you and I, but you know what I mean. Um,
Just me.
yeah. Um,
Well, see, maybe she had something going on and she couldn't perform.
yeah, she was stressed.
Up to her standards,
Yeah, she
or
was
what
stressed.
Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look. I mean, some people don't perform as well, right?
You go
In
to
certain situations.
you go to work one day and there's not a lot of people in the office because of COVID. You're like, boss, I'm out. Put
Yeah.
someone else in. I can't do it. There's no one here. It's too stressful. I just can't deal with it. Anyway, that's enough about that. What else is good about the Olympics so far? The men's basketball team, I mean, they lost to France. That's not good. Our teams are not doing as well as they usually do. Like the women's soccer lost their first game. The women's softball, they did well, but they lost the gold medal match. We expected them to win. Men's basketball isn't doing well. Women's basketball isn't doing well. So we're not. I think we're just not having as good an Olympics as we usually have. Men's volleyball is doing really good.
How long have the Olympics been going on for? A week? 1 week?
Yeah, just about a full week. Because
So
they.
how is it that we're getting already medal games in softball? Like,
Oh,
are there
and
only like 4 teams?
five. There's five teams. You play 4 games. Top 2 teams play in the gold medal match. 3 and 4 play in the bronze match. That's it. It's over.
Damn. Okay.
And you know
I
how
was wondering. I'm
you
like,
know how softball is. Those chicks can play every day, right? They don't need rest days or anything.
yeah.
Um, Baseball started today with the Dominican Republic and Japan. So yeah, it goes pretty quick. For the team sports, the Olympics is kind of not really conducive to a good tournament, right? For soccer, it's not good because they make
Right.
them play like every 2 days, and even at the World Cup, they play like every 4 days. Basketball, it's okay. They're used to playing, back to backs and things like that. Um, they've got rugby in the Olympics this year. You can't play back to back days or every other day in rugby. I mean, that's crazy. So they have very few teams, and you play a very small round robin, and then a gold medal match and a bronze match, and that's it.
Yeah. I
So,
think the U.S. men's team, basketball team. I mean, to be fair, those guys overseas. I mean, they play together.
a lot.
You know, a lot, right? I mean, here you just putting guys together, and
Yeah, but a lot of those European guys also play in the NBA, right? So then like Spain don't the Gasol brothers
yeah,
play here. I don't know. Like it just feels like with the NBA with basketball, it feels like most countries still care about the Olympics, and we've gotten to the point where we don't, like, yeah, we cared when it was college kids because it was competitive, right? And then we cared when it was the dream team because we enjoyed beating teams by 70. um, but then the big names started bowing out and they're like, never mind.
yeah. And I mean, I think it's a weird, with COVID and everything last year, right? And obviously still going on, but obviously, last year being you know, what seems to be the worst of it. I don't know, but maybe that threw a monkey wrench into everything getting pushed back, right? Basketball season getting pushed back, and athletes not getting the right training in, kind
Yeah.
of playing catch up, maybe. I mean, that could certainly be an issue.
Hey, I got breaking news for you. The Nationals game at Philadelphia today has been postponed due to COVID issues. Dum 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 dum.
I've seen that.
That just popped up.
That's the Nationals' second outbreak.
Yeah. Hey, have you been following the NFL and their COVID protocols and whatnot?
Yeah, somewhat. That's more interesting stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's insane.
So the teams have to be what, 80% vaccinated in order
80 or
to,
85, yeah.
or 85? Yeah. I mean,
And they
yeah,
can't.
some players obviously have an issue with it, right?
Well, the thing that's weird is, right, so they're obviously the NFL doesn't want games canceled, right? That's their big problem. They don't want to have to cancel games. It makes it, from a scheduling perspective, it's a nightmare, and it's just kind of a bit of a black eye, right? So they really don't want games canceled. So they want everyone vaccinated. They don't care. And they're doing stuff that is kind of putting pressure on the players that don't want to get vaccinated or don't believe they need to be vaccinated or whatever, right? The players that are not vaccinated. Um, and they're trying to create pressure even internally, right? Like one of the things that caught my eye was if they have to cancel a game and it cannot be rescheduled, both teams don't get paid. And they're like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, right? Because if one team followed all the protocols and had no cases, and the other team didn't follow protocol or whatever and ended up with a bunch of cases, and they're canceling because of this team, they're going to give that team the forfeit. They're going to get the loss, but neither team gets paid. And it's like, well, that's unfair to the team that's done everything they're supposed to do. So
Right.
it's really kind of bizarre. They're the first league, I think, that has put down some really harsh um, protocols and penalties for possible cancellation of games, because MLB has done nothing in that regard, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think the NBA has, and I don't think the NHL has either. So it's kind of interesting that they're taking such a hard stance on it.
I wonder if that's why they went to 18 games, just in case they have a funny week where a bunch of teams are somehow
Affected.
hit with COVID. Yeah, and they just shut it down for a week, and they're like, well, we have we don't really lose, we still play all 16 or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It's bizarre. It's well, but it doesn't matter, because with the new system, one team's going to get a win and another team's going to get a loss every week,
Yeah.
right? So whether they play the game or not, if they don't play a game because of COVID, someone's losing and someone's winning, which, quite frankly, I kind of feel like that's the way it should have been from the beginning, because, you know, in a tennis match, if you and I are having a tennis match at the US Open, you show up and I don't, you advance to the next round, right?
Right.
And I
Yeah.
get the loser's paycheck. It happens all the time, right? And in the Super Bowl, there were guys that were injured, couldn't play. It happens. It's no different than an injury, in my opinion. So, I'm okay with the whole giving teams a forfeit. I'm not okay with you not paying both teams, right? Like that seems dumb to me, but
Right. Makes you kind of wonder, or makes me wonder, like, I wonder if the NFL snuck some lingo in there that, in this agreement, that maybe, some fine print that maybe got overlooked, and maybe the players were expecting something
well,
different.
here's the thing, right? We've always heard that the NFL Players Association, that is the weakest union of all of the major sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for them, I'm assuming that part of this COVID protocol plan had to be done in conjunction with the Players Association. Like, how weak do you have to be as a Players Association to not say, "Hey, wait a minute, what do you mean both teams don't get paid?" Right? Like,
Yeah.
if that's it's dumb. I mean, I'm not pro players, I'm not pro owners. I kind of sit in the middle when it comes to this stuff. And even to me, that seems completely out of whack.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes you wonder why they would have agreed to that, right?
Yeah, it really does. And I don't know. We'll see. It's getting very interesting. Players are really speaking out about not being given all the information as to what they can and can't do. And I mean, they are going to. I'll tell you where it's gonna go wrong. The first time a team has to forfeit, keep an eye out for that team, because that team will go in the tank, because it'll be
Yeah.
the like right now all the players are together. Even if they're vaccinated, not vaccinated, they don't care. They're a team. The first time they have to forfeit a game because of an unvaccinated player, that's where they'll split. Where the vaccinated players will be like, "Well, what the fuck? What are you doing?" You know, it gets really interesting
Yeah.
really fast.
All I know in the NFL is whoever you think is going to win the Super Bowl is probably not going to win it. It's going to be the Jaguars and the fucking Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it could get really weird, right? I mean, with these,
Yeah, absolutely.
it could get really weird.
Yeah. So what else?
Sticking with the NFL, we can talk about Aaron Rodgers. Uh, what
You don't like Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't. I don't. I am tired of hearing this guy whine. I mean, I just every single time I hear a professional athlete tell me it's not about the money, it's about the money. And Aaron Rodgers in April during the draft said, "I'm never playing for the Packers again." And it has nothing to do with the money. And here we are today. He's going to play for the Packers and he's going to play for a lot more money. So
Don't you think he could still get paid anywhere else? Like if he chose to retire
yeah,
and come back next year, he
yeah,
could probably get paid the same amount, if not more, next season.
yeah, yeah. But
So
yet,
I don't really.
but yet he signed another deal with the Packers for more money.
Well, no, he was still in the contract.
Yeah, they gave him an
He's
extension though.
still
They
no,
reworked
not
his deal.
recently.
Yeah, last week. Last week
No,
they reworked his deal. I'm almost positive.
I don't know, but I think with Rodgers, I mean, I think it's great that he laid it all out on the table. I mean, I think he was really genuine on how he felt uh regarding all this. And I think it comes down to one thing. He just wanted some input, not exactly the final say, but he wanted some input in personnel decisions,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe most of the top tier quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Big Ben, uh, Drew Brees, they all have some kind of say. They don't have the final say, but they have some kind of input on who they would like to, bring in, keep, cut, not cut, all that stuff. And I think that's really, and I think, and if you look back, like this has been going on with the Packers and Aaron Rodgers. Like it's been out there before, so I don't know. I I really don't think it's about the money with him because and in most cases I don't think it's about the money for the athletes or some cases maybe, but because they can always get paid,
Well,
you know?
here's a case where I don't think it's about the money, right? Deshaun Watson wanted some more input, right? He wanted to be in on the decision on who the next coach was going to be or GM and some personnel decisions. And when that didn't happen, he said, "I want out of Houston," right? And
Yeah.
demanded a trade. And so then the trade offers came in, none of them were good or whatever. And here we are many months later, right? And then on top of that, they came up with these 22 rape cases or sexual harassment cases, whatever they are, right? All of this stuff has happened, and here we are months later. Deshaun Watson opened his mouth earlier than Rodgers did in this last salvo. Here we are all these months later, and Deshaun Watson still wants a trade, and they have not reworked his deal and given him more money. So to me, Deshaun Watson really wants that type of input. Aaron Rodgers 3 months ago came out and said, "I'm not playing for the Packers ever again because I don't get input." And now here we are. Apparently, there were some talks in May and June. Nothing changed. They extended his contract and he's back. So, how can you tell me it's not about the money? It's about the money because he didn't want to go. He didn't want to go into the 21 season on the last year of his deal or the last 2 years of his deal, whatever. He thought it was a lame duck status. And it's like, okay, well, if that's what you want, say that's what you want. I don't have a problem with players voicing their concerns or airing what they want. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with you lying to me and saying it's not about the money and I'm never playing for the Packers again. And then 3 months later, when they give you more money, you're in camp playing for the Packers again. And nothing else has changed. Did he all of a sudden realize that the Packers is a great organization and, I want to be a legend at Lambeau? I don't, it just,
I
it's,
don't think he believes that after today.
it's
There's
just,
no way he believes that.
I can't deal with the crying. It drives me insane with that guy. He is an incredible football player, but Jesus Christ, stop complaining. You complained about the coach, you got him run out of town. Now you're complaining about personnel decisions and tell me it's not about money. And then 3 months later, nothing has changed about personnel decisions. You got more money and you're staying. It just stop complaining. It feels unreal.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he's earned the right to complain. I mean, they all complain. All the quarterbacks complain. Brady, Big Ben, they all complain in one form or another way. I mean, they all do it differently, but
right.
I mean, look, to be fair, the Packers have given him crap to work with these past few years. So, I don't know.
Yeah, look,
side with
I
Rodgers.
get it. I get it that he wants some input and he wants better players around him. He's coming towards the end of his career. Obviously, he wants to make a run at another Super Bowl and whatnot. I get all of that. I just if you're gonna air stuff out, air the truth. And if that really,
I think he.
If that really,
but I think he did that today.
Yeah, but then what did? But then what did we? Why did we get all that shit in April? Like, see, that's my problem.
But I mean, does it matter when it comes out? Like, it came out. I mean, he spoke up today.
Keep that same energy, right? Deshaun Watson is still pissed that he doesn't get any input. Deshaun Watson still wants to be traded from Houston. So when I hear Deshaun Watson complain, I go, okay, I get it. That's how he feels, because it's the same. He's saying the same shit he said back in January and February, and here we are 7 months later. It's the same story. Okay, I get it, and you're right. He has a right to say that, and he should express it. I have no problem with that, but don't lie to me. I'm not, don't lie to me and say it's not about the money and then sign an extension and stay.
Do you think Deshaun Watson is an asshole? Do you think he's a dick?
I think
probably not. Most people would probably say no.
Most people would say no. I mean,
most people would say no.
Stuff with all right? the sexual harassment with all these women makes me think, maybe. That's a lot of massage.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers? Is a dick?
I don't know.
Yes, most people would say yes.
I don't know that I think he's a dick as much as I think he's just it's just too much whining. I view him more as a whiny bitch at this point.
Yeah, see, I think he's a dick, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? But I think, also like just looking at his background with his family and stuff like that, I think he was just born like that. So I think there's a little bit of pettiness. No, seriously, I think there's a little bit of pettiness when he comes, when, it's Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, kind of butting heads, right? There's a little bit of pettiness there. So I think this is a way of him saying, well, I showed up, you're going to have to pay me, and now I'm going to air it all out. While you pay me, I'm going to air out the dirty laundry and, speak the truth while you're paying me.
Yeah, but it was
what I'm saying?
But it was the same thing he said in April. He hasn't said anything different now.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Too much whiny. Man. Too much whiny. You're a football player, for fuck's sake. Be a man.
Yeah.
Quit crying. We've gone from the Positive Sports Podcast to the Whiny Bitch Podcast.
Yeah.
Who's the
Thanks,
whiny bitch?
Rodgers.
Who's the whiny person of the day? Yeah, he
Thanks to
reworked.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers reworked his deal 3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Hmm.
Really?
You must have been asleep.
Probably. I just woke up.
What else in the NFL?
Mm,
I tell you what, next week we're gonna have a lot to talk about because we're gonna have to shake out how all these trades go on in the MLB. The trade deadline's on Friday, and everyone's making moves. There's a lot of shaking and baking going on.
the Astros are winners so far. Talk about bullpen. They've made two trades for that bullpen.
I really like them getting the guy from Seattle, Graveman.
And you know who else they're getting back? Bregman. Like Bregman's due to come back soon.
That's right. Yeah. But I mean, and their offense does not need a boost. I mean, they're offensively, they're doing great.
No.
Look,
Right.
the very clear problem or the very clear low point for the Astros is that bullpen. And getting Graveman is great. That guy was doing well in the bullpen for Seattle. They picked up another person today. So they're addressing their issue, and as well they should, right? They're a win right now club. I mean, they've got one of the top
Oh yeah.
4 or 5 records in the league. The American League is not a cakewalk. You got to do something. So I think they're doing fantastic. Yeah, I agree with you. For now, as of right now, big winners, the biggest winner,
Yeah.
right now. But it's the 28th. We still have 2 more full days of trades coming
That's right.
our way. So we'll see how that all shakes out. I can't wait to see it. I don't know what my beloved Mets are going to do, but they better do something.
They're in on everybody, according to reports.
Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, I will be real curious where some big names go, right? Like there's talk about Scherzer going somewhere, although I don't know that I want his COVID ass now. Um, Chris Bryant is another one that everyone's talking about. I'll be real curious to see where those guys go.
Well, half the Cubs team, right? You got Rizzo, Baez, Kimbrel.
Yeah. Bryant's the biggest name for some reason. I don't think Rizzo and Baez are going anywhere. I think people are talking, but I don't think they're going to go.
Who knows? I don't know. You figure with those 3 pieces, right? Rizzo, Brian, and Baez, like you try to keep him and maybe build something. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
not that far off.
And I think they're willing to let go of Bryant because he has some history with injuries.
Yeah.
But I do think they're going to keep Baez and Rizzo because I think that they feel like that's the cornerstone of their lineup.
Right.
Speaking of Baez, what did you think about the face off with Amir Garrett?
Oh, I think that was pretty cool. I loved it.
Was that fun or what?
Yeah, man, those 2 teams hate each other, man.
Yeah.
I think I'm more surprised that Garrett not kind of. I feel like he took the high road. He knows he got beat, but I mean,
yeah,
he even like tapped his glove, and I'm like, the heck?
Look, I think stuff like that, and for people that don't know, Amir Garrett has been kind of jawing back and forth with the Cubs for a couple of years now. And 5-5 game the other night, Baez comes up to bat with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th. And first pitch, Garrett throws him a fastball high out of the zone, actually. And Baez still got a whole lot of barrel on it and hit it to deep center. It didn't go out, but hit it to deep center. And obviously the Cubs ended up winning 6-5. But I mean, Baez and Garrett were talking trash to each other before the at-bat even started. And look, if Garrett or the Reds especially, if they don't turn around and hit Baez, then I am all for this. I think this is great, right?
Right.
2 guys, supreme confidence in what they do, mano a mano, challenging each other, right? Baez is going up there trying to get something for his team. And Garrett didn't mess around. Garrett pumped a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in there, threw it as hard as he could. He said, "Go ahead, see what you can do with it, kid." And Baez chased it and did it, right? So and then Baez jawed with him as he was walking up to first base, and Amir Garrett jawed back as he was walking off the field. There's no need to hit anybody. There's no need for retaliation. It's a challenge. It's a
Right.
At the end of the day, and this is what I've said all
Competition.
along. Yeah, it's a competition, right? Of course we're going to get heated. We care, right? So yeah, we're going to talk a little trash and we're going to get pumped up. And this is what I've always said. The beauty of baseball is it's a team game, but every single pitch is a one-on-one battle. It's a conflict, right? It's a conflict. You have one guy throwing a ball, trying to make sure you can't hit it effectively. He doesn't want you to hit it out of the park. He wants you to hit it softly to his second baseman so he can throw you out, right? Or he wants you to just miss. That's what he wants to do. And this guy at the plate wants to hit the ball so hard that he facilitates his team making it around those four bases. And that's it's a conflict. It's a chess match. And there you are, right? And that is the beauty of baseball. It's a team game, but it is defined by, over 200 conflicts in every single game. And that's why I love it, right? Because that's what it is. There's 250 conflicts in one game by two teams, but it's those little conflicts that make up this greater game. And that the other night between Javi Baez and Amir Garrett, right? The conflict was the highest stakes and it was the most boisterous. And it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch.
It was.
And look, I don't like the Reds. I don't like the Cubs. I do like Javi Baez. I think he's pretty good. But look, if Amir Garrett had thrown 3 pitches right by him and won the conflict, I would have said great. I would have thought that was great too. That's what I truly, truly enjoy about baseball. It was so much fun to watch. I hope no one gets beaned. I hope we just go on and have more of these challenges.
Yeah. And Javi Baez was I think he was gonna pinch hit last night too. He was getting ready, but I guess they made the third out and the game was over because Amir Garrett was pitching.
Oh God, that would have
been interesting to see that again. But I think they played 2 more times. So
yeah. Well, it's great. To me that is the true beauty of baseball is that conflict.
Maybe Javi Baez gets traded to the Mets, and the Mets play Cincinnati next week.
Perfect.
That'll be something.
Wouldn't that be perfect? Hey, I'm going to I'm gonna do some quick analysis here as we talk. All right.
Okay. All right.
And I have this little quick analysis tool that I do right about this time of year, about 100 games in, that tells me who's going to move one way or the other, right? So who's doing well, who's going to fade, and who's doing poorly, but will likely pick up towards the end. So I'm doing my quick analysis, and as I look, the Yankees are 52-47. They look like they're going to fade. They are currently on pace to win 85 games. I don't think they get there. The Cleveland Indians are 50-4. Write these down because at the end of the year, we're going to see if I'm right. The Cleveland Indians are 50-49, 1 game over 500. The Cleveland Indians will not win 81 games. They will fade. What else? The Seattle Mariners, 55-47. They will fade. They are currently on pace to win 87 games. They will not. All right.
Well, yeah, they just traded away their best reliever to freaking in the division.
Well, that's part of the reason why I'm saying that. But there's another analytical tool that I'm looking at. Here's another one. The Braves are 50-51 right now, on pace to win 80 games. The Braves will win more than 80 games. They'll finish above 500, and I would guess considerably above 500. The Marlins are 44-57. They're on pace for 71 wins. They will go over 71 wins. Let's see what else.
I need them to win like 80. I need them to win like 82 ball games.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen. No, well, they're gonna get up there, but not quite that high. A couple more fades. The Reds and the Cardinals. The Reds are 52-49. The Cardinals are 51-51. The Cardinals will definitely fade. The Reds, maybe not, but I think they're likely to fade. And that's it. So jot those down, and I hope you jotted down what they're on pace for.
I did not, but I remember the teams.
Okay, good. Remember the teams. I'll go back and jot them down myself as well. But there you go. There's a little insight for you.
Somebody from the West is gonna fade.
The NL West?
Yeah.
No, the NL West is pretty much the way it's going to be. No, that's going to be the way it's going to be. I mean, let's see. The Giants are on pace. The Giants are on pace to win 102 games. I don't think they're going to win that, but I don't think they're going to fade either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to end up with like 85. They may win 98. I mean, look at this, 63-37, right? So in order to get to 95 wins, they've got to go 32-30 the rest of the way. That's
feasible.
Totally feasible. 5-16 baseball when they've been playing 6-30 baseball. I mean, I guess you could call that a fade, but to me, it's not. I mean, that's still a lot of wins, and they're still going to be fighting at the top of that division.
What about the Blue Jays? The Blue Jays are 50-47.
50-47. Yeah, I think they're right around there. 85, 88, 85, 87 wins. Right? Yeah, I don't think that team gets much better unless they do something dramatic here at the trade deadline. But they just don't. They're not that kind of team.
Yeah.
Oh, my analytics say look out for the Angels, but not in a good way. But they've got Ohtani, so I don't think they're going to fade.
They do have Ohtani.
I mean, they've got the best player in baseball, so.
I don't know about all that.
Absolutely the best player in baseball. Who's better?
DeGrom.
Only plays once every 5 days.
Damn, the Padres are getting shut out 10-0 to the A's. Jeez.
Did you see the Tigers Indians game?
I was tracking it.
A low-scoring football game.
17-14. Jeez.
Yeah. All right, bro. You got anything else?
That's it, man. Let's wrap it up.
Sounds good. As always, folks, if you want to share your thoughts with us, you can email the show, positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of Alex, how do they do that, Alex?
Follow the Gaucho on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho1.
And if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on Twitter as well at eMontana21. And with that, we've come to the end of another wonderful episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. Check us out on Podbean, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, whatever podcast platform you choose. Hit the subscribe, button so that you don't miss an episode. Hit the like button, make your comments, share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear it. But
Yeah,
most
buddy.
importantly, folks, ignore the negativity, be the positivity.
Peace.